how do you think that has impacted you being resilient when you come up against life setbacks and health setbacks, but also if you're in the lab and there's some kind of setback, because they kind of relate, right? So just a little bit of information on what you think resilience is and how your life path has given you resilience.
I think resilience is just the ability to keep going when not everything's when you get results that you don't like, or you get setbacks that make the next step hard. Doesn't mean altering what you're doing to fit the challenge. It means navigating the challenge and moving and using that information to move on. So you might not get the result that you want, but what can you learn from that so that you now understand it? And I think a lot of, in science, a lot of bad science happens when people get a result that they don't like, and then they try to twist the result to fit their narrative, rather than using that result to develop what's moving forward. And my supervisor always has a saying, there's no such thing as bad results, there's just results. And you can either use the result and learn from that, or you can give up and stop using it.
Very good. Tell us why you think that spinal cord compression is such an important area, and how are you hoping that your findings are going to improve the outcomes?
Compression spinal cord injury matters because it affects a lot of people. And if we were to think very logistically about it, it overwhelmingly, for children who have spinal cord injuries, which is a small population, it overwhelmingly affects them in terms of non-traumatic spinal cord injuries, not necessarily compression. But what will happen is those people have an experience an injury, and that's a lifelong injury. Whether the cause of it is treated or not, they're now left with a lifelong morbidity that is going to affect them for the next 60 to 70 years without intervention strategies that are actually useful. So when we think about it that way, a spinal cord injury for anybody at any stage of life is a very big injury. You are affected in a lot of ways of life. It can affect your ability to move, it can affect your ability to function in society to an extent. And so trying to figure out how we can mitigate that the best we can is really important. So not only do people with spinal cord injuries or compression injuries experience loss of function, they also experience a lot of psychological dysfunction as well, where you have heightened depression and anxiety and things like that affect their experience, human experience in the world. And so being able to help people regain function in their arms or in their legs, or even just being able to walk independently is a really important issue that should have a lot of attention. And there is a very specific life example where one of my best friend's mums and one of your friends has a non-traumatic spinal cord injury, and you see the sudden impact that it had on her life, where it was a progressive injury, and then at one point it became very serious, and her road to recovery hasn't been about helping her spinal cord regain function. It's been about improving what function there is left. So what went from a really, active life and out there and enjoying it has turned into a life where it's not so much that. And so helping people be able to reintegrate into life as they know it, or improve their lifestyle by making them able to interact with the world more effectively is, I think, an important issue.
So when we talk about that specific case, which is very personal to both of us, the initial injury is not in play anymore, is that correct? But what's left is the damage that has been done during the course of that. So it's things like, hands not working the way they used to, and legs not working, doing what they're told to do. And so in your research, what you're trying to do then is find out how those things can be reversed, or not just, because it kind of almost says, like, when you're saying what you're saying, it's kind of almost when you're saying we want to give them a better quality of life. Well, we can put ramps in the house and we can give them wheelchairs and we can, like, that's can help quality of life. But that's not what you're talking about, is it?
No, it's about helping them regain independence, really, because a lot of that now relies on other people, like our friend does. Has to have a lot of care, and people need to be there to support them. They don't, so they've lost their independence. So how can we help them regain independence? And that's trying to figure out how we can create new neuronal networks when they've been lost. So the damage has occurred, and the spinal cord, and in her case, the brain as well, have lost the ability to adequately connect to the rest of the body and move signals between the brain and the body. So how can we help regain that function in a way that's not making the most of what's left, while still doing that, improving and gaining the ability to create new connections and functions?